The JU Dolphins are headed to the Final Four in the ASUN Championship. Andrew Gibson with you right now on River City Hardball, joined by the head coach of the Dolphins, Chris Hayes. Mike Cassala join us as well. Chris, awesome to see what you guys have done the last couple of days, taking 2 out of 3 from Florida Gulf Coast and advancing here in this tournament.
Yeah, it was a good weekend. It's been a good finish for our guys. And we talked about it throughout all of the entire season with some of the adversity that we've had. As long as we stay together, stay positive, and keep trying to get better every day out there, we will see the benefits of that at the end. And we're starting to see that. We're starting to get healthy, and we're really starting to come together and play pretty well. So it was a great weekend for our program, great weekend for our team, and I couldn't be happier for this guy that's on the call with us.
Mike, what an incredible performance for you, man. The other night going 7 strong on the mound and then coming up with 4 RBIs as well at the dish. How can you explain that kind of night for you?
We had our backs against the wall, and it could have been our last game of the season, last game of our career for some of us. So just came out and played as hard as we could. Tried to think about how much everything we've been through this year and play with the end in mind, and just give it everything we had.
Chris, what was your thought on the game that Mike had specifically?
Oh, it wasn't surprising. There's a reason that this guy got the ball in that situation. He's kind of a Swiss Army knife. He's willing to do whatever we ask him to do. And, I mean, if we wanted that guy to go play shortstop for us, he would go do it. If he ask him to put the gear on and go catch, that guy would do it. And the fact that he can do so much in the game and he's as fierce a competitor as he is makes it really special. So it wasn't really surprising to see the production, to see this guy deliver. I was just really happy for him that he could experience that, and everybody around him could experience that and come together. I mean, we had a pretty much as complete a game as we have played all year on Sunday. And it's no surprise that this guy was at the lead of it.
Mike, you like to hit, don't you?
I love to hit, yeah.
We've talked about that before, and you almost like Shohei Ohtani out there, man. Do you feel like that a little bit?
No. I don't have some of the tools that guy has, but I don't know. It's a different feeling. It takes me back a little bit, being able to do both in a game. It's like coming to the field. It's a little more, I would say the word is exciting, to come to the field knowing that I have an opportunity to help on both sides of the ball. A little different preparation before the game. If you're just pitching that day, sometimes I think you can overdo it, trying to get yourself so locked into pitch. Your mind's going, you're trying to just warm up. Maybe you do a little too much. But like the other day, we take BP. I got to do all that. Then I got to start focusing on pitching. But I don't know. I think as long as I can help, and if I can do 2 things at once and try to help that way, then I'm all for it, like Coach Hayes just said.
I know Ohtani's on a much different level right now at the big leagues level, Coach, but it's fun to see guys like Mike swing the stick as well as take the mound.
Oh, no doubt. And he's always been able to do both. I mean, shoot, there was one year he didn't even pitch for us. He just caught the whole year, or he pitched very, very little. I mean, he's a really, really good baseball player. And the biggest, sometimes for Michael, the biggest challenge he has is and the biggest competitor he has is himself. He's got to he's got to control himself. He plays with a lot of emotion. He plays with a lot of focus, and he plays up a lot. And when you're pitching, you got to be careful not to exude too much energy. And, he's not the fleetest of foot on the bases. And there's not as much lightning in the barrel as maybe some of us would hope for. But man, he gives you a really quality at bat. He's a great base runner. And he finds a way to get on base. He finds a way to make things happen. It's not always pretty. You may not necessarily teach the swing, but he's a result guy. and he's a super competitive at bat, every time out. And the biggest thing is if we can just keep him calm enough so that he can continue to perform on the mound, we'll be in really good shape.
Chris, talk about your team collectively. Some of the guys that have stepped up of late. I know that Dakota Jalila had 3 ribs in the game on Sunday. I mean, just collectively, this group, who has stepped up for you recently?
Well, really, I mean, we're healthy, and we're starting to fire up and down the lineup. And I mean, it really does start with Dakota. It starts with Ruben, our center fielder. Both these guys have been in this program for a long time. And if you've watched any JU baseball games, you've seen these guys on the field. And, they find ways to make things happen. And if they can continue to compete at this level, we're going to keep playing for a while. And, but it starts with those 2 guys at the top, getting on base, putting pressure on people. And then the guys in the middle of the lineup have really started to deliver. And one thing about this year with all the adversity we've had and the injuries, and we've had a lot of moving parts, a lot of guys have had opportunities to play, and especially some of these young guys. We've got some freshmen that are now hitting at the bottom of the lineup that have been huge contributors for us. And they've been really steady in their energy, their quality of play, and they've really proven that they can play at a very high level for us. So with Jackson Grabsky and Jesus Pacheco at the bottom, with Corey Heffron doing what he does, shoot, I can just go down the whole lineup. We're healthy. We're starting to see how the lineup works, and they're starting to feed off of each other's at bats.
Mike, what about you? Throw out some of your teammates that have maybe caught your eye a little bit this year that have stepped up their game.
The other day, like we said, it was everybody. And I think that's down the stretch. There's really a lot of guys you could point at that have been a key for our success or the start of our success. I don't want to act like we've done anything yet, but you start on the mound. Tyler's done a great job battling and really grown. I think he's grown up a lot. And I know he's a 5th year, but it really is true that he's grown up a lot, learned how to navigate himself through a game, how to control the game, stuff like that. Jaggard McCoy has really become our closer, and you give him the ball and you feel like the game's over at this point. Dakota, as always, playing a solid shortstop and swinging the bat, really doing a good job being himself and not trying to do stuff that isn't really accustomed to his game, just kind of being himself, staying consistent. And then really the spark of our whole team, who I don't know if he's getting enough love for what he's doing, is Ruben in center field. He's always been a great defender. He's been a good hitter, but he's over the last 10 games, I think he's hitting like 460 or something like that. And it seems like you start the game, first pitch, just base knock right away. It's like he's always on base. He's gotten on base every single game this entire year. And as rough as it's been, I don't know if we don't have that guy out there, I don't know how bad it really could have gotten, because he's kind of gone under the radar, but that kid's been just solid all year.
Yeah, that goes right to exactly what I was going to say next, Coach, and that is, you guys had a tough stretch to start the year, but now you look at what's in front of you, and you got a chance now to continue to advance in this ASUN championship, Coach. It's a long season, but you guys are right here with it.
Yeah, this is the time we play for. This is why we're here. And we talk about it in our program. Is the first meeting of the year, we talk about May and June. Everything that we do, our training, our mindset, our preparation, the work that we do is all geared toward being great in May and June. In order to be that way, you have to learn, you have to grow, you have to understand how to win together, not just individually, but together. And we're at that point, and it's kind of funny. We've gotten healthy. It's huge. But we turn to May, and these guys really started to perform at a high level. And we've really played well down the stretch. I'm proud of them. I'm proud of the leadership on this team, that they've stayed together. They very easily could have splintered and gone in a lot of different directions with the frustrations and the adversity that we had this year. But they stuck together. They kept the team together. They kept the locker room together, united. And they're performing, and they're doing it now. They're getting it done now at an extremely high level. And I'm who knows? This may be it for us. We may be done this weekend, but I just know what I've seen in the month of May. These guys have really started to play at a high level, and they performed at an extremely high level in a very difficult environment down there in Fort Myers at Florida Gulf Coast against a really good team. And we played well. And I hope that we can continue that tomorrow against one of the best teams in the country, Liberty.
Tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock start time over at a stadium that you're familiar with over at UNF. Coach, tell us about Liberty. You mentioned that they're one of the better teams in the country.
Well, they're very mature. They're very veteran. They've got guys that have played a lot of baseball throughout that on the field. They've got a lot of the transfers that they brought in, and they've got just seasoned guys all over the place. And they performed, the entire year. They've played very high competition, and they've beat them. They're by far had the best year in our conference, and they deserve the 1 seed. And they deserve to be here. We have our work cut out for us. We do. We have to play extremely well to have a shot at the end against these guys. And that's what we've got to do. We've just got to keep punching, keep fighting, and take whatever it is that they give us and absorb it and try to return the favor throughout the entire game and look up. And at the end, we'll have the right guy with the ball, and hopefully we can get that last out.
Mike, what stands out to you, if anything, about Liberty?
Well, I've never actually played against them myself, but I mean, I've watched them, and then I've been following a little bit this year. I mean, they're, like he said, they're a good program. They play very crisp baseball, clean baseball, carry themselves the right way. They're very solid all around, got a lot of depth, stuff like that. But like he said, I mean, yeah, we have our work cut out for us, but a lot of times it's good to be hot at the end here. It's one, and ultimately tomorrow is one game. It's not like we're playing a 7-game series against them. So we come out the right way early in the morning tomorrow, then you never know what can happen. And it's hard to beat a team that's really got a lot of fight in them.
You mentioned Mike early on in the morning. How do you, approach that as a player? Do you like playing early in the morning? You just get the game going, or what do you feel? How do you feel about playing early in the morning?
I mean, I'm not even gonna have to set an alarm. I don't think so. I'll be fine. No, we'll get there. We'll get jumping around a little bit early, and we're taking BP at our place, so we'll have some time to. If we got some guys that need to wake up a little bit, we'll handle that. But no, I like it because you have that big game at 7 o'clock. You're waiting around all day, kind of anxious, but we can get up and go and just get right to it. And that's, I think, for the style of baseball that we play and the way that we're feeling right now, we're about ready to get back on the field. So I'm actually pretty pumped up that it's early in the day.
What about you, Chris? You feel that way?
Absolutely. Game one, get on the field, get going. We won't be in the heat of the day. I mean, it's going to be warm, but that 11 o'clock start to me is better than that 3 o'clock start. And, we get our guys up, get them moving. We've worked on it this week, getting them up. We're out of school right now, so these guys have gotten a chance to rest. And I'm sure a couple of them have slept in a little late, on some of these days we practice later in the day. And, but we've had to get them up this week, make sure that they get moving, get acclimated to moving around or to move around this time of morning. And we'll be ready to go. These guys will be ready. I know that. I mean, they're, whether it's 11 in the morning, 11 o'clock at night, these guys are going to be ready. They're fired up. So.
Last few seconds here with you guys. Mike, give me 30 seconds on the Yankees, man. You're wearing your hat. Kluber had the no-hitter the other night. I know he's just got hurt today, and Voigt's on the IL. But tell me about this Yankees team.
I mean, people were hitting the panic button early, and I wasn't one of those people for once. They're starting to get healthy. I just saw that actually now they're not, like you said. But I'm not, during our season, I'm not really as into it as I normally am because we got stuff going on. So hopefully I'm not as able to give you as good of a report for a little bit longer here. But I will say, as big a Yankee fan as I am, hopefully we have a little 04 Red Sox run here, a little cowboy up underdog kind of thing. I wouldn't hate that.
Yeah. We'll see, man. We'll see. Guys, wish you the best of luck tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock start time, JU against Liberty. I'll be at the game. I'm going to be over there with Manzi tomorrow morning, and then I'm going to have the game on the radio Friday. So I hope you guys are going to be playing when I'm doing the game. So wish you the best of luck, guys, and we'll look forward to seeing you out there tomorrow at UNF, okay?
All right, thanks.
Appreciate the time, Gibby.